Diles hola. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I was gonna say our channel, but it's just my channel for right now. But we're doing a Q&A, get to know us sort of video. And I have the questions. I took a picture on my, I think one of the first questions was how did you guys meet? So we met, I was doing the math yesterday when we were driving to San Francisco, and I was like wondering what year we met, and it was in 2006 because I was in I was in 8th grade and you were in 7th grade, and then we started dating a year later, so that was in 2007. Because then I was going to 9th grade, and you were still in Douglas, but we met in middle school, and I don't really even remember like the first time I saw you. I just remember that I knew Marisol, which is his cousin.
Hello, Marisol.
So, which is his cousin, and I don't think she even introduced us, and we never hung out, but I did see him around the school, and I had a huge crush on Hector, and actually he had a lot of bege in middle school. I didn't, and we did it. I know you still do. And I do too now.
Why now?
Yeah. I'll post pictures of our first picture together. We were at the middle school, and someone took a picture of us. But we didn't start dating until that summer. And when I went to high school, we kind of went our own ways, and then we kind of met up. Gosh, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know how we started talking again. I just know that. Oh yeah, I do remember. When it was summer, there was someone that was friends with you that had told me. Pásame el agency. That had told me that you would go to the public library, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go and see if I can see him there. And the first time that I ran into him after like a whole year that we hadn't seen each other, and so he had told me that you would go to the library, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. And I remember sitting, you know how when you go to the public library, I don't know if they still do this now, you can book the computers for like, I don't know, an hour or so, and you'd go on MySpace. So I remember adding him on MySpace, and he had a Joker face. He didn't even have a picture, and I was like, okay. So we didn't even talk on MySpace, huh? It was more in person. So we met up there. Oh, okay, I remember. When I went to the library that day, he told me, hey, Hector's here. And I was like, oh shit. So I remember like facing like the wall, and like you were in the back area, and then you went to go sit at a table. I was getting ready to leave, and I went up to you and I just said, I don't even know why I asked you if you wanted to talk to me. And you're like, no, and you laughed because you were in front of your friends, and at that time,
well, that's cool, baby.
I looked hella dorky. I had glasses and everything, but I had a big butt. Look at the
What?
So then I was getting ready to leave because he dismissed me in front of his friends. And as I was leaving, he kind of came out and he was like whistling. To get my attention. And then what'd you say? Like, you called me over? I think, yeah, you called me over. And this was after a year that I was already 9th grade. And he was in 8th grade, so I was already at Pioneer and he was still at Douglas. And he was like dating someone. And we kind of started talking, and he was still with the other person, and he never told me. He just never talked to the girl again, I guess, but then he started talking to me. And then that summer, he asked me to be his girlfriend over the phone in July 2007, the year 2007. And then we just started dating from there. But we had known each other already for a year, and mind you, we were both 14. That's how we met. That's how we started dating. Okay, so it says, what's the biggest thing you've gone through together, good or bad? Okay, the good thing we went through together, maybe like the biggest thing, the good thing I think was having baby Hector, because everything else feels like it was like we were really young, like those things don't kind of matter. The bad thing, you don't think nothing?
What is it?
I don't know. Guess bad, puppy.
It's bad, no.
Oh, nothing. Okay, next question. What do you believe is your partner's best quality? Oh, I know this one for Hector, because I honestly think it's a good thing to have. So obviously he's really quiet and shy. Not even shy. He just, the way he says it is that he doesn't care about anyone else. Like he's just always been that way, like super quiet. I think that in a relationship, when you fight, and this is a good quality because I'm saying it, like sometimes us girls can be a little bit crazy and like be mad. I don't think I've really seen Hector be mad or angry, and I can have
Damn, this is hot.
I can have my moments, and he'll always remain calm. So I think that's a really good quality to have, because I don't think I can have that. I think he's never had like an angry outburst, like you know how some dudes like punch walls and shit like that. Hector has never really done that. What do you think about me?
Crickets?
Really? You don't think anything good of me? That I'm a good mom?
Sure.
Sure.
No, you have to say one thing. I think that it's okay that you don't want to say it just because you know it in your head. And you're never really the type to share like how you feel. Who is the strict parent? So the strict parent has to be Hector. When it comes to like, I don't know, like I'm not strict,
It's
but
not even being strict.
there are things that I feel like you can be strict on that I don't think that I'm more like lenient to certain things. But it's not a bad thing because I feel like even like baby Hector like knows like, oh shoot, like when he's in trouble, like no, don't tell Poppy. Like that's how I know that. Like being a strict parent is that it's not that he's afraid of you, but he knows like he shouldn't mess around because then I'm gonna tell you and like, okay, so does he cook and clean? So cooking is like never. He never cooks, but he does help me clean. I think when it comes to cooking, I do most of it. And when he does cook, he swears he's like a professional.
I don't swear.
Okay, so one of the most common questions that everyone asked was, when were we having the next baby?
Hi.
So that everyone's always asking that, and the way I see it,
I'm always asking that too.
I know you are always asking because he really wants another baby. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys some details that I try and tell Hector and try and make him understand is that right now, like, our life is kind of set and structured to, it's kind of planned out. Like our roles right now, everyday tasks are set for us. And I feel and I know that with a new baby, there's a lot of things that would change. Not in a bad way, like, you know, like I love seeing people with big families and I'm like, cool, like they can do that. But I'm more of like concerned about childcare and like me not being able to work and seeing what would happen, just because once you have another baby, it's like you're gonna need all the help you can get, and I don't think that I would really have that. So I had told Hector that the moment that were to happen, like I'd probably not go back to work, just because I couldn't see myself like really paying for childcare or someone else raising my kid. And that kind of scares me, just because not having another baby scares me. It just scares me that we kind of have our plan right now of what we're doing, that a new baby would really change stuff. I mean it's gonna happen, don't get me wrong. Like I know that he needs a sibling, but as a mom I worry so much about what we'll be able to provide. I know it's gonna happen. I just know that right now I'm stressing about, I already know that I have to stay home and try and find a different way to have an income where I'm like not depending on like only his check. And I think that a lot of people probably feel the same way, because I know a lot of other couples that only have one kid and like are going through the same thing. Someone else asked how we get along with our in-laws. How do you get along with my dad? Here's the thing with both Hector and my dad. They don't really talk, because Hector's really quiet. My dad's actually very serious too. Unless Hector is drinking, he talks, but my dad and him are both very like to themselves. But when they talk, I don't know, it's just weird. Like their relationship is like, I don't know. You should talk more to my dad. Does in-laws mean just like suegros, or is that like the like?
I think both, huh?
Yeah. He does talk to my brothers. For me, basically, the amount of years that Hector and I have together, so are we gonna be 14 years? No? We're gonna be 14 years this year in July. And I've literally grown up 14 years with Hector and his family. And there has been a lot of, I didn't really have that. I didn't have a big family, and having his family was like, taught me a lot. And up to this day, I'm more grateful that even if we've had fallouts or whatever, because you know, you fall out with people and everyone has their own way of viewing things, that I'm gonna respect them regardless, because that's my son's family, and I'm just grateful that at least he has that, because I didn't have that growing up. So that's kind of how it is with like in-laws. We get along, like I get along with his siblings and like his family. Obviously there's little, como se dice, como disagreements, but nothing like crazy. So anyway. Oh, what's our favorite thing to do together?
What's funny?
A few moments later.
What's our favorite thing? I'm not even gonna look at you. Or what's your favorite thing to do
Not
to
my
me?
favorite.
I mean,
To you.
I mean, our favorite thing to do together.
Mix it.
Together?
Mix it.
Together.
Tired.
Sleep?
Sleep?
Sleep, huh?
Okay.
Okay.
As we sleep, go together, go sleep.
Yeah.
Go hug.
Un hug? Yeah, we like to hug.
Your mama and me.
Okay.
Juntos. Sí, sí, cámara. Me comes Kevin con conejo.
Ranch. Kid's ranch?
Mhm.
Hmm?
Let me see, do you have ranch on your beer?
Hey.
Oh, wait. The last question. We'll just do one more question. The last question is, when are we getting married? I think it's the same. It's not the same to having another baby, but it's more of like, there was a point in my life where I did really want to get married, and the only reason I really wanted it was because I saw everyone else doing it. And I remember being really upset with Hector because I wanted to get married. I remember I'd cry to him, and I would cry. I remember I would be so upset because I just wanted to get married, and and it just didn't happen. So I think it was just a phase that I was going through when I was younger, and then.
But look at all those people that got married now.
Yeah, I know.
Me too.
So I don't know. I feel like that's a touchy subject because I don't want to offend anyone that's gotten married now recently or gonna get married or plan to. I think every relationship is different, but it just also showed us that a lot of the people that we grew up with got married and got separated because it was making decisions very young, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it can happen when you're 35 also, but the way I view marriage now is very different. I don't feel like I need a ring and a wedding to stabilize our relationship or make it seem like he's my husband, because at the end of the day, like, he's been the only person that, like, I've grown up with, and like, literally, like, we've been with each other for so long that being married isn't our priority. I think it's more important for us just to be happy or just try, because our relationship hasn't been pretty, but also we haven't quit on each other, and it's more important for me to keep trying and for him to keep trying than it is to worry about a ring on my finger. He did give me a ring in February of 2017, so my son was 1 month old, and he gave me the ring, and I have the rings, and I'll occasionally wear them. I went actually a while without wearing them because there was a point where I didn't want to wear them. I didn't want to even see them. There was just some stuff that I was going through, or we were going through, and nothing crazy, like no cheating or anything like that. It was just more of bickering and like the fights that you guys have. I mean, but there are things that were said, and anyway, it's just kind of like bumpy roads that kind of relationships have. But the whole wedding thing is kind of like, you know, even if one day we're like 40 and we want to get married, then we'll get married. To be honest, if we decide to, I'd rather have like a smaller wedding and then use the money to go out and like have an outing rather than put all this money in a wedding. And everyone does their own decision on how they see getting married, but don't feel pressure to get married just because everyone else is doing it. It's just like we're fine. Like I think we're happy And that's all that matters. And to be honest, the happiness of my son is really what's more important than anything. But yeah, having a wedding, I you know, I just see them and I'm around them and I see people that are like husband and wife, and of course, like maybe one day even I would like to call him, you know, my husband if that's what we decide to do one day. But we've been together for over 10 years, so technically we kind of been together for a long time. But yeah, that's kind of how the way I view marriage. I don't know, how do you see it, like that too? Just because we've been around. Yeah? Yeah, I think right now we just have our different priorities. If anything, I'll probably have another kid before I decide to get married, just because that's a whole different like commitment. And also I've seen people that get married and the relationship go from happy to being like feeling pressure to make it work because now you're a husband and you're a wife. But as of right now, as a boyfriend and girlfriend, like long-term boyfriend and girlfriend, like we're okay, and that's it. That's really it. But we ended up getting Wingstop, and then Hector got plain wings and got Asian zinc sauce from Walmart, because the sauces they have at Wingstop are not the best, but they taste fine, huh? I liked it. Mine were the freaking, ¿cómo se llaman? The wingless. What are they?
Boneless.
The boneless, and we get hella carrots, and then I have ranch here that we use. And I told him to bring me this cup is from yesterday. I got a unsweetened tea, and then I have these like little lemonade packets, and I poured it in here. And then this, it's not that cold, that's why I'm not drinking it, which is a michelada. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Well, for our Q&A, get to know us. I feel like there's a lot of things that I can talk about, or even like for us to get to know us, but I think hopefully in the future, whatever videos we decide to do, you'll have an idea of kind of like what we are, who we are. But for the most part, Hector's really quiet. Like he's just a quiet person. Like if you know him in person, he'll only talk when he's drinking. Like he'll really talk a lot and make friends and stuff like that. But for the most part, he's just to himself, and I'm fine with that. That's the way I met him, and he's always been super, it's not even that he's shy, it's just that he's just very, he says he can sense a lot of people's bullshit, and that he just doesn't want to deal with that. And I respect him for that, and we kind of balance each other in that way, where he's quiet and I'm more of like open. Obviously, like even doing like videos is very new, but I'm so willing to do it. Just, are you looking at me? Because I can see you looking at me. So yeah, that's kind of it for today's video. And I will see you with what's next for next video. Ya acabamos. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching, and leave me comments. I feel like people watch the videos. It's just leave me comments, even if you guys say like, if you guys like it or something. But yeah, bye. Okay. ¿Me vas a puchar stop? Okay. ¿Sí puedes?
Oh!
Y luego se cobraron por las ropas.